This is gonna be an interesting video because it's gonna be so eye-opening for you, because you probably are somebody that struggles with some chronic health issues like fatigue, brain fog, maybe even some autoimmune, and you're maybe on medication and you're just trying to improve your health by changing your diet. But what most people don't understand actually is that all the different diets out there are actually the same. And this is what we're going to talk about in that video. So maybe, you got some symptoms, you got some fatigue, some energy problems, some constipation, maybe some gut issues, brain fog. And, you were going to your doctor, you realized, okay, they can't really help me. And then you realized, maybe I should change my diet. Maybe I should try keto. This doesn't work. I lost a little bit of weight, but I still don't feel really good. Maybe I should try and go plant-based. Maybe I feel okay, but it doesn't really move the needle. Maybe I should do autoimmune paleo diet. That is okay, but it's also not really moving the needle for me. I still don't feel really good. Then you're going further and you try maybe even carnivore. And then you realize after a couple of weeks, it's also not giving you the results that you want. And then you go and you do whatever diet is out there. There's so many names. And you just try everything under the sun and you think like you've been doing something different the whole time. But actually, you didn't. You didn't. Because what all the diets are focused on? All the diets are focused on protein. It's the funniest thing ever. You know why it's funny? Because it doesn't matter what kind of diet you're describing or you're going to. Doesn't matter if it's vegan, doesn't matter if it's carnivore, doesn't matter if it's keto, doesn't matter if it's like some autoimmune diet, doesn't matter if it's low food map, doesn't matter if it's paleo. All of them. And this is why you're not getting better. And this is why you never see results with these kind of diets. Is that all of them are focused on protein. Everybody sees protein as the holy grail. And you're probably sitting there and you think like, I tried so many things. Meanwhile, you're just doing the same thing over and over again. It doesn't matter, you're doing carnivore, okay, you have more animal protein in the diet, but you're still focusing on protein. Okay, then you're going vegan and you think like it's something completely different. And of course, is it a different diet? Is it different foods that you eat? For sure. That's a very drastic example. But just on a meta, okay, on a meta level, if you think about it, everybody that is turning vegan or going plant-based, what's the first thing that they're really afraid of? Or the first two things is, where do I get my B12? Meanwhile, everybody's B12 deficient. It doesn't even matter if you're vegan or not. And then the second question is, where do I get my protein? Where do I get my protein? That's the most important thing when you're turning vegan. And it's basically with all diets. Everybody is obsessed. It's a brainwashing that's like so crazy. And we didn't even eat so much protein before all the people got sick in the 1950s. Before 1930, like nobody really was even focusing on protein. That stuff is existing for 100 years or so. And everybody thinks like it's the most important thing, and there's so much science, there's paid science behind it, okay? Paid for studies are behind all of the high protein diets, and there are even there are even studies that show that a low protein diet is actually good. Like there's a study for everything out there nowadays. For everything there's a study. They have studies left and right. Coffee is good, coffee is bad, protein is good, protein is bad, protein is good for your kidneys, protein is bad for your kidneys. It's just insanity what's out there. But you know what's the most funniest actually is that nobody has results. They are just all bombarding themselves. Like the vegans are bashing on the animal-based people, the animal-based people are bashing on the vegans. They all like show themselves studies, they make videos about each other, and they show each other the whole time. And meanwhile, both of them don't know what's the true cause of their problems. They're just still in the dark about what's really going on. They still think that caffeine is okay to use, both of them. Okay? They still think protein is the holy grail. They're both still brainwashed and they don't know what's causing chronic illness. They don't know what's going on with them. They're not so different. If they would know that they're not so different, they wouldn't even shit on each other so much. But that's actually what's going on. That's why all the diets that you've done before and that you changed is basically the same. All our focus on proteins, and that's, you know what that means? Every diet that is focused on proteins is a high-fat diet. You can't have a high-protein diet that is not high-fat, and that's the problem. That's the biggest issue for the liver. Because if you have a high-fat diet, your liver is so bombarded by these fats. Every time your liver has to produce so much bile to disperse these fat cells, your liver has to work so hard and is already bombarded with toxins, with heavy metals, with petrochemicals, with pharmaceuticals, with viruses and bacteria and pathogens, Epstein-Barr virus, herpes simplex 1, herpes simplex 2, cytomegalovirus. It's bombarded with that, and we bombard our livers even more and more and more and more with these high-fat, high-protein diets. And the liver is the very thing that you need to clean in order to get better. It doesn't matter what kind of symptom, what kind of problem you have in your life. But in order to really heal from the root on, there's no other way than having a diet that is very liver friendly, that is helping your liver to cleanse. Otherwise, it's not possible. And that's why you're in that vicious cycle of going to one doctor to another doctor, going to another healthcare practitioner, going to alternative routes, trying different diets, and meanwhile, you're doing the same thing over and over again without even realizing it. And if you think about an approach that is low in protein, you get scared because you're like, okay, like this is something I never tried before, but don't you fall apart when you don't eat so much protein? Meanwhile, you've been lied to. Like everybody is brainwashed about proteins. It's so crazy out there. And you know what the funny thing is? They all at each other. Meanwhile, nobody sees results. Nobody's getting better. They all have the same problems. They all have anxiety. They all have depression. They have the energy problems. They have the kidney problems. They have the kidney stones. They have the liver problems. They have fatigue. They have the brain fog. And they still don't know what's going on in their bodies. They still don't know that pathogens, they still don't know that heavy metals are causing their issues. That's what's really behind their problems. They just don't know it. And that's the next thing, if you don't know what's going on in your body, how can you know what to do? It's like, it doesn't make any sense, doesn't it? You can't really heal your things, your problems, when you don't know what's going on with you in the first place. That's really what's going on. And in order to heal, in order to get better, you need to have a diet that is not high in fats and high in proteins, because as I said, if that's the case, you're killing your liver, you're killing your adrenals, you get glucose deficiencies, you get vitamin deficiencies, everything under the sun. You don't kill off the viruses in your body because your liver can cleanse, because your bloodstream is filled with fats, it's lowering oxygen. Oxygen itself is antiviral. So everything is getting worse if you are just trying these trendy diets that actually try to promote you something different, but it's all under the umbrella of like high protein. And that's the reason why you're not getting better. And if you want to really get better, because I've been showing that over and over again, if you really want to get better, then you can book your free discovery call. I offer that for everybody because everybody has different problems. Everybody has different symptoms and diseases. It's very individual. I offer everybody a free discovery call. All that you need to do. So go to my website, www.theobergmann.com, and we will give you a call for like 10 to 15 minutes if you book your call there. Super easy to do, it's free. And then if we can help you, we would move on to a 90-minute strategy call. And in that 90-minute strategy call, we would show you an approach that will actually target the root cause of your symptoms, that will target what's really going on in your body and how to do that, actually what I just described. So you get a free consultation basically. And I would highly recommend you doing so, because if you don't do any of that, if you're still in the same vicious cycle, if you're doing the same diets over and over again, meanwhile doing all the time the same thing, and if you never thought about that kind of approach, but you think right now, okay, that's actually new, I never heard of that, maybe I should try it. Of course you should try it, because otherwise it's not getting better. Otherwise you're not working on what's really going on in your body, and you never really cleanse. You never really cleanse. And cleansing, detoxing is one of the most important things when it comes to getting your health back, when it comes to getting your energy back and your brain back, and to getting off of medications. That's what you need to do actually. So book your free discovery call. Link is in the description, www.theobergmann.com. And we're gonna talk soon. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and hope to see you soon, guys. Bye-bye.